Hey guys, it's Brent. I'm here with my first character showcase, and today I want to talk about Dabi. I've had some requests, some questions about whether he's worth investing in, so for next time he comes around, I want to try to answer those questions as much as I can. So, to start off, let's take a look at Dabi's skills. So the way that he works is very much centered around his blue flame bar and around inflicting burn stacks on his opponents. So as we look at his skills, his normal attack, and I'm not going to read all the numbers here, but his normal attack can create burn stacks. It has a chance to burn the enemy. His E skill inflicts 5 stacks of burn if the enemy doesn't have his E skill inflicts 5 stacks of burn, and if they already have 5 stacks, it will inflict them with charcoal and stunned. So this is a useful skill. It actually can essentially root enemies, right? It stuns them. This W skill knocks enemies back, and this Q skill explodes all of the stacks of burn on the enemy and deals damage for each of them. Your quirk skill, you want to make sure to only activate when your blue flame bar is full. That is going to increase damage the most by inflaming Dabi, and it increases the damage of everything else, but especially this Q. It increases it. Each stack of burn deals an additional 50% damage, which is huge. Alright, they are skilled, just a damage dealer. It's alright for, mobs, like big groups. So, over here in the passive, we have increasing flame energy recharge and attack increase when inflamed and defense. When we get to SS, the W skill increases damage by 50% plus more as it levels up. This triple S skill is really where Dabi's going to shine. Ignite deals an additional 20% damage with each stack of burn inflicted. And that's at base level, right? That skill is going to, since the primary source of your damage is this Q, you stack up burns and then explode them, an additional 20% with each stack, getting up 10 stacks gets you an extra 200%. So that is huge. And then of course, every stack of burn increases attack by 2.5% for 7 seconds and increases flat damage. So triple S plus is good too, of course, but this triple S is really where Dabi is going to change, from honestly mediocre to a really powerful unit. Double S, he can be solid too, but triple S is where he's going to shine. So let's talk about that resonance for a second. If you pull him once, you get him at S. 2 more times to double S. And I believe it's 3 more times after that to triple S. So you're talking about pulling him 6 times with pity 100. You can also farm in this shard shop to build him up there. But we'll come back to that at the end. For his chips, you want to focus on technical and crit. So penetration is a good stat, but Dabi has some skills that lower enemy defense. Right, and so because he can naturally do that, we don't want to focus too much on penetration. So these are the 3 stages with 0 to 4, 5 to 9, and 10 stacks. And 10 is the max, and they do expire after 8 seconds. So you want to be building those up and extinguishing them before they expire.
Shall we start?
For his cards, Present Mike is a good choice dealing with hyper armor. One good thing to do is use Cold Shot, right, and focus on crit. I also have Kendo here to focus on crit. Now, I know I said not to focus too much on penetration, but it is always a good stat, so Game Start is another good card for him. So my advice would be crit over penetration, but both are good stats, right? Another good card is Unconscious Monster. This is good on a lot of people, but the reason that I would say it's so good on Dabi is because you can, if you can trigger that card, you can cancel out your knockback, and then you can use certain skills like the W to knock the enemy back and kind of steal the combo, if you will. Of course, his unique cards are good as always. Your exclusive cards. So this is his damage increase card, and this increases damage to enemies inflicted by burn. And you know, his whole thing is burning enemies. So those are also good choices. Let's take a quick look at Dabi's talent trees. So you're going to want to take the 2 right paths if you only have him at S. When he's inflamed, his attack increases by 3% per second up to 10 stacks. So keeping your inflamed status for 10 seconds gets you a 30% damage buff. And then this bottom one down here helps with cooldowns and damage. So these two are very solid. These two are very solid. This one over here gives defense decrease when enemies are on the Scorched Earth. That's good for it's good for assist. He can scorch the earth and have other people deal major damage. It's also good for him. So this is a solid path, but these two are just more important right off the bat. So if I go ahead and turn on villain attack and I try to get some stacks of burn on him. So watch this this combo too is some ranged attacks, leaves Scorched Earth, which deals damage on the 4th strike, and shoots out that flame to end it. Now if I use this, you can see that he's stunned for just a moment. Now, as he comes to attack me, if I press W, that knocks him back. So that is a pretty solid skill to use in PvE or PvP, right? And eventually I'll use burn or use Q to get rid of the stacks of burn. The main focus you want to have here is getting this blue flame up, which you do using W and E skills. Eventually you'll see the quirk light up. Use that. Now Dabi is slower, but he deals significantly more damage. His W skill now leaves Scorched Earth. His combo, this is just the auto combo, changes and leaves Scorched Earth as well. You can recharge your blue flame by using your skills. So even when you're draining it, you can recharge it. And then make sure you explode those stacks for substantial damage. So that's kind of his play style. Alright, so as far as combos go, it kind of comes down to using the skills as they come up, right? So I can knock them back and then start this auto combo. Use E, inflame, and then blow up the pieces. Then here I can use W, and it actually gives me a second attack. Stack up those Qs, recharge my skill, boom. And basically it comes down to trying to get him blue with fire and exploding that while you're inflamed. There are some solid damage rotations out there, but rather than memorizing a specific combo, what I focus on is just dealing, getting the stacks of burn on as much as I can, and then getting the blue flame filled up, inflame, Q, and go from there. When inflamed, the W is a great way to stack up burns as well. So, to kind of touch on his PvP potential, so one thing Dabi is really good at is knockback. And I also love that stun. Also, do keep in mind, Dabi is a ranged character. You don't want to get too close. That's partially why W is so good. If your opponent does close in, you use that to get the range back. It's great for people like Deku, Aizawa, even Ida, who rush in or teleport in, right? And you want to get that distance back. So I'm noticing in Arena, I'm not building up that blue flame quite as quickly. So one thing, here I'm using Q even without being inflamed. It still does pretty decent damage. It's just not quite as high, but it's better than letting the burns expire. I can also use it before they're at 10, but that gets rid of the stacks a little sooner than I'd like. W a little early, but I still managed to stop him with E. Right, now he's burned. Oh. And stunned. Perfect. Oh, locked me in a combo. There we go. So I think where Dabi really shines in PvP is that ability to stun and knock back enemies and hit from a range. A lot of characters need to come in close to land attacks. I would say most of them. So having the ability to stop them from doing that is really important. Note that all of your ability cooldowns refresh when you go into inflame status. So that's a good way to build up flames, to use them all pretty quickly when you enter it. And so that's kind of Dabi as, you know, as a character.
Shall we start?
So that leaves us with the question of, is Dabi worth pulling for? And that's a tough one to answer. If I will always say, probably in every showcase I do, if this is your favorite character, you know, you really, it's a game at the end of the day. If playing as Dabi is going to give you a lot of enjoyment, then he's worth pulling, right? As far as being competitive, I think I'm going to have to say he's one of the more passable units, or skippable. And I'll go into my reasons for that. So in agency assessment, in super co-op, in all of the, I mean really in most modes, he's not great at S. In Arena, he can be really useful, and he's honestly really fun to play as in Arena. But that's because everybody's talents and everything are stripped, right? But in any of these co-op modes, he's just not gonna deal much damage at rank S, and so you would have to pull him to rank double S or even triple S to really make him worth it. Now, you can farm shards and get him, get his shards this way. The thing is, if you're going to use the shard shop purely for building the most competitive characters, I think there are better options. So, taking any aspect of whether or not you like Dabi out, I would say that he's not a top priority character to pull or to farm. But if you do enjoy him a lot, if you like him in the anime, you can farm him up to triple S and he will be a massive damage dealer. So that's the beauty of this game. There are no characters who are just useless. Well, I won't say no, but most characters have their use, and in the hands of a skilled player or somebody who's practiced with them can be useful. But overall, he's not one of my top priority characters. But I will say he's a lot of fun in Arena, and that's it. Hopefully that, helps give some advice or some clarity on the character. And if you do pull for him, I hope that you get him, and I hope you have fun. So hopefully that was helpful. I'll try to make some more character showcases and talk about skills and how to play them, but let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.